Unfortunately, we know very little about what makes Kim Jong-un tick, his mindset, his decision-making process. We know what others know, that he was educated abroad in Switzerland. Then he came back to North Korea, and then he became a leader. In the past year, I think Kim Jong-un calculates that he's very close to completing the program. So he has really ramped up the frequency of the missile tests in terms of testing other technical capabilities of missile tests and nuclear tests. Of course, in the midst of all this, he also killed his half-brother, Kim Jong-nam, at a major international airport using banned WMD, VX nerve agent. So Kim Jong-un has really ramped up both trying to eliminate potential rivals, anybody who could challenge Kim, as well as his nuclear missile program. Kim Jong-un seems to be bent on completing what his father and grandfather have pursued at cost of billions of dollars and millions of lives, because they're that much closer to finishing it. They're very, very close to getting the final deterrent that they want, which is to be able to strike mainland United States with a nuclear weapon. The most important reason that the North Koreans are pursuing nuclear weapons is because of regime survival. They believe nuclear weapons is the only way to guarantee their survival against a hostile interest. They see United States as a hostile power that's bent on getting rid of the regime, or that is unable to live with North Korea side by side. So regime survival is at the core of why they are seeking nuclear weapons. Of course, there are other reasons too, like international prestige, domestic standing, and so on. But really, regime survival is at the heart of this. I think North Korean rhetoric has always been incendiary. It's always been too much. So anybody who's been following North Korea for decades, the rhetoric that's coming out of the North Korean regime right now is not any kind of a surprise. What is surprising, actually, is from Washington, because no U.S. president has used the kind of language that Mr. Trump has used in terms of lock and loaded, fire and fury. But North Korean rhetoric, they have always used this kind of escalatory rhetoric. Diplomatically, realistically speaking, we have very limited options, because North Korea is not willing to return to the negotiating table to talk about denuclearization. They are no longer interested in negotiating away nuclear weapons. That means for us to have a diplomatic breakthrough with North Korea, we would have to meet them over to discuss a peace treaty or a peace regime. But it's not about denuclearization anymore. I think U.S. does not want to accept nuclear North Korea, and U.S. will not ever say that they will accept. But the reality is that we will have to live with nuclear North Korea like we live with nuclear Pakistan, nuclear China, and nuclear Russia. And if we were able to deter Stalin, we were able to deter Mao, so we will be able to deter Kim Jong-un from attacking us. Deterrence is what we will have to resort to. China has never done what it can and what it should do when it comes to North Korea, because China's interests and priorities of the Korean Peninsula has been fundamentally different from the United States. China cares about not causing instability. China cares about keeping North Korea as a buffer state. For those reasons, China has never really pressed North Korea. One of the negative consequences of having to live with nuclear North Korea is the potential for arms race in the region. Some Koreans are already talking about bringing tactical nuclear weapons back to Korea. More conservative folks are already talking about nuclearizing South Korea. So if that's the case, Japan could go nuclear, and of course Taiwan could go nuclear. So potential arms race in the East Asian region is one of the negative consequences of living with nuclear North Korea.